Hi, everybody. Welcome to TransArt 2021 day number 2. I'm your host, Samantha Letois, and it's my pleasure to have you here and connecting because we have this celebration 5 days virtual starting February and January 25th to the 30th. I want you to encourage and follow our social media and our YouTube channel. Go right now and check it out, unitycoalition.org/transr, so you can know more information about this virtual conference. And today's show, our special partnership is by Project Access Foundation. Let's check it out, Project Access Foundation video, and check it out for you.
Welcome to Project Access Foundation at TransArt 2021. Project Access Foundation, your medical home inclusive and diverse. Our services include free HIV and STI screenings, primary care, HRT, free condoms, in-home HIV testing kits. For more info, visit us at projectaccessfoundation.org.
Yes, if you want to get more information, go and check it out their website, www.breakaccessfoundation.org, and you can find HIV and STI screening and so much service, especially for our transgender and non-conforming community. With that being said, I want to say thank you again for being here and watching our show. Today, topics will be healthy shade. Yes, honey. Where, how, and what do you find an information for my trans community and look good? Only no outside. You want to look good internal and outside. So with that, I have the best and the beautiful girls that I have invited today. And with that healthy shade topics, I want to invite Tatiana Williams, of course. There you go,
Hi,
Tatiana.
how are you?
Vani.
Hi, Samantha. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Mika Sorio, welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
And also Lorena Mena, that she's right now having some little issue, but she's gonna be connecting with us. So, ladies, welcome to TransArt 2021. So, I want to say thank you all for this opportunity and giving more access and information for the transgender community and also the non-binary. Remember, this virtual celebration is January 25th to the 30th. So go and check it out. Unity Coalition is Trans Art. I want to start right now with this beautiful girl, Tatiana Williams. She's very known in South Florida, and you all know her that for trans inclusive. So I want to say, Tatiana, thank you so much and welcome to Trans Art 2021.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Samantha. I am Tatiana Williams, the Executive Director and Co-founder for Trans Inclusive Group, which is a trans-led organization that's located in Wilton Manors, Florida. I apologize. I'm also the Community Co-Chair for Broward County Health Department, HIV Prevention Planning Council, Transgender Advisory Group, and I also sit on the, I'm a part of the Steering Committee for HRC South Florida.
That's
Thank you
amazing.
for having me.
She's been doing a lot of things, and I want to say congratulations and thank you so much for the time and being here in the TransArt 2021. Let's continue. Now we have the beautiful Lorena Mena representing Project Access Foundation. Lorena, welcome to TransArt 2021. I don't know if Lorena can hear us. In the meantime, let's continue with Vani. Vani, welcome to TransArt 2021.
Hi, Samantha. Thank you for inviting me. So my name is Avani. I am a 26-year-old trans woman of color, originally born in India. I'm a transgender services coordinator for the Florida Department of Health. I also am the government co-chair for Transgender Health and Action. I'm a doctoral candidate from Florida International University, and I'm also a very involved community activist, organizing on different issues, whether it's related to transgender community, Black Lives Matter, immigrant rights, etc. But I do want to add as a important disclaimer today that I'm representing myself as an individual, as a community activist. So whatever opinions I express today, however I answer these questions, I'm only representing myself and not any other organization or entity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that recommendation, and also be clear for everything today. So next, our beautiful lady, Mika. Welcome to TransArt 21.
Hi, hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again, Samantha, for having me for the second time.
Yeah.
Last year, I was to the TRANSART as well. So, yeah, but it's totally different this year because it's all virtual. So, thank you for having me. But my name is Michael Sorio. I'm all the way from the Philippines. I'm the prep navigator and trans advocate for Care Resource. And part of my job, actually, or my advocacy, is to make sure that there will be health access to all the transgender in our community as well, and to fight for their legal rights as well. So that's actually part of my advocacy that we're going to discuss tonight with this topic or this discussion with the panel. And thank you again for having me, Samantha. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for your time. I don't know if it's Lorena can fix it. Let me tell you that in the whole world we have a storms, and this is live. So there is no way that we can change or edit anything. So everything that we are saying is going to be right here and for our public. Before to continue, I want to say thank you so much to all our sponsors that make TransArt 2021 possible in making active. TransArt 2021 is a vision, passion, and many possibilities for our transgender community and non-binary. I have a good question, and let's start with Tatiana because she always has that question, honey. She got that answer on her hand, so I love that. Tatiana, tonight our topic is healthy shade. On your organization, what do you understand for healthy shade, and how Transclusive is helping the trans and the non-binary community?
Well, the way that Trans Inclusive Group helps the transgender and gender non-conforming community is that we believe in holistic healthcare. I think it's important that we understand when we are talking about healthcare for individuals that it's a little bit more complex than just the healthcare in itself. And a lot of times with community members and organizations and clinics, they have a tendency to look at us for one purpose. And it's important in order to think about healthcare for the transgender community, you have to think about all social determinants of health. When you talk about education, when you talk about health access, when we talk about homelessness, all of these things contribute to what your health looks like. So for us, we created programs that work for the holistic healing of transgender individuals, whatever that may look like. If it looks like us helping you get placement with housing, if it looks like us helping you to pay a bill, if we have to help you with education, whatever that looks like, we are willing to contribute to help you, or even find that resource to help you in that process.
That's very amazing because it is important to know, Tatiana, and let me remind to everybody, the transgender, the non-binary community is very difficult to find access to the healthcare and also have different options for find a job. And there's many discrimination. And without talking about that, many of us have been murdered for a different situation in hate, and even for you having a relationship for someone that maybe at the end of the day it will like hating you. So Lorena, you can hear us now?
I can. I had to move to a different location so I have a better reception.
Whoa, my God, amazing. Lorena, thank you so much for make this possible, and take the time to be the TransArt 2021 representing Project Access Foundation. Lorena, can you give me a little bio about yourself?
Well, I have been working in the field with social work and with the community for around about 20 years. I try to do as much as I can to be in the community, working with each and everybody that I can to get to know the resources, what the issues are in our community that needs to be done. Along that, I've worked with a lot of different agencies, and so I joined with Project Access, and that has been something that has been such a powerful movement in my life, working with the community, being able to be assistance with social needs, medications, and health-wise. So right now, that has been the most important part that I've gained growth from at this point.
Wow. So thank you so much, Lorena, for everything that you've been doing for that community and making fight, making right, and making correct. So my next And the same question, of course, will be for Michael Sorio. Micah, so our topic tonight is Healthly Shade. What is your organization doing for the transgender and the non-binary community, and what do you understand for Healthly Shade?
Right. Okay. So it's actually like what Tatiana said. Everyone has different needs. Each individual has different needs. So we need to have like a holistic approach in terms of our patients. So with that being said, we need to find out the social deterrents and determinants of health, especially now that it's very hard for the transgender community to access healthcare. And for with care resource, what we do, we try to strive our best to make sure that we will be able to provide that service to our clients. So from healthcare to dental to behavioral health and even like free testing as well. We do that as well, and counseling as well. So we actually help all our patients, especially with PrEP. So I always do outreach with the community, and I try to talk to people and try to make sure that I will be able to educate the transgender community in terms of what is the importance of PrEP and why it's important to the and relevant to the transgender community. Because most girls or most transgender in the community, when they heard PrEP, they actually having doubts or they actually having that stigma regarding it. So all they want is their hormones. So that's why we're trying to make sure that they will be able to get everything, especially we'll be able to enroll them with PrEP because like some transgender patients are coming into a clinical setting, it's already hard for them because they're actually having that fear of being clapped out or being bullied in public. So that's why it's very hard for them. And for us as a FQHC Health Center, we try to do our best in order for us to make sure that we'll be able to assist the patient and we'll be able to treat them as equal as everybody else because I know that everyone deserves to be treated equally.
Absolutely, everybody require a good attention. We are human. In this, this is the topic that is important for our trans and non-binary community. A healthy shade is not only how you look physically, is mentally how you're feeling, how you can continue fighting for your community, how you can be a better person. So,
Exactly. And sorry to cut you off,
yeah,
because like
that's
I keep on telling people that like people here in America, especially in Florida, that everyone is lucky that they have this resources. But in my country, in the Philippines, it's very hard, and you can even change your name and gender marker on your IDs, even if you have sexual reassignment surgery. But here they have resources. It's like we've been giving people, healthcare access. It's actually like we were already spoon feeding them. We're actually helping them out to get assistance in terms of everything. It's just like sometimes the community is being marginalized and scrutinized. That's why they are actually scared to come out. And we're trying to help them out to break that barrier.
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you something here that is very important. We have one topic that is healthily shaped, but we have to make sure to understand that there's two groups of people, that we are five women, five ladies right now, but we have two type of people right now. The one that you get the information from the transgender community, which is in trans inclusive, and Vanny, and the one that project and help other community, because we have to understand what is the high population, and this time is us. We are talking for ourselves. So I want to say thank you to Unity Coalition for giving the opportunity for my transgender and non-binary community and make this possible, and also for all our sponsors. Please go right now and make your comments and share with your family. We want to go all over the world. This is TRANSART 2021. The same question is going to be for my beautiful sister, Vanny. Are you there?
Yes. So
So,
in terms
okay,
of like, what I do for the transgender community, it really depends on my role, right? So I have
exactly.
three different areas where I try to serve the transgender community. One is through my work with the health department. This mostly focuses on health services. So, the health department is very limited. There's a lot of things that we can't do or that we can't say. So mostly I work, in trying to link people to HIV care, antiretroviral therapy, trying to find, community driven approaches to improve PrEP intake. there's a high need for pre-exposure prophylaxis amongst the transgender community, as well as other services like housing and transportation. So I work closely with Tatiana in my capacity with the health department in our community group called the Transgender Health in Action, which, by the way, we're meeting tomorrow. We meet on the fourth Wednesday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So you all are definitely welcome to join. I know that some of you all will be in the meeting, and I'd love to have as many trans people on there to really create that partnership between the government and the community, so we can actually figure out how to fight the HIV epidemic, right?
Absolutely.
And then in my educational capacity, I am a doctoral student at Florida International University. So one of my goals is to try to find, the best gender affirming practices for the trans community, and also to engage in advocacy. Like, did you know that in Florida we don't have civil rights protections for sexual orientation and gender identity in hiring and housing? Only like here in South Florida, like we're a little bit lucky because they have passed human rights ordinances, but in the most part of Florida, transgender people are not recognized. It's an extremely difficult process to get your documents changed. Luckily, I was able to take advantage of a program with Ariana Center and Trans Social, where I was able to get legally represented for free. But most trans people don't have that opportunity. So we also need to fight to improve healthcare access. If you're employed, if you're lucky enough to be employed as a trans woman, you need to make sure that your company covers trans inclusive benefits on their insurance policies, and also to try to universal healthcare. I think universal healthcare would significantly improve that, so that we all have access to basic healthcare, mental health, and definitely making sure that trans inclusive benefits are funded, either at the state or at the national level. So that's where I really get to do that advocacy and that policy change that unfortunately I'm limited from doing in the health department, which is why I chose to speak as an individual today, so I can also share stuff that I do, outside of my capacity of the health department.
Absolutely.
So, as a person, I'm always keeping track of legislation, of different things going on in the community, trying to build transgender leadership, figuring out ways to incorporate intersectionality into my work. There's a lot of Black trans women that are also being harassed by the police, facing high levels of violence. So, I think the Black Lives Matter movement is very important for the trans community. There's a lot of transgender immigrants that are here in Miami-Dade County and in Broward and in Palm Beach. And, especially like ICE, they tend to discriminate against trans immigrants and tend to treat them more harshly. So I think, immigration policy, immigration reform, fighting to abolish ICE would also be an important issue for transgender immigrants.
That's very good. And also, we have a lot of information that you've been providing for the community. So, Vanny, thank you. Thank you for everything they've been doing for
Yes.
our transgender community. I have the same question for Lorena. Lorena, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Absolutely. So our topic for tonight is healthy safe. What is healthy shape for
Okay.
you? What's your organization and what you can, if you're not working right now with an organization, but you're representing an organization, what do you understand for that and what is doing for that community?
I think it's very important, as you say, the healthy shade to be well-rounded. A lot of times, as we have so many things that's going on in our life. I think it's very important too to focus on the whole tier of your mind, your body, your physical health, everything all in one, so that you can be the best person that you can be, but also be there for your community. Because a lot of times in our community, we go through so much as trans women that we tend to kind of just stay to ourselves and focus on just the minute things of ourselves, and we don't really get out in the community. So, Sandy, that's why I think it was very important that she said for those who are working or out in the community, for us and with Project Access, it's good that we go out in the community, we network and talk issues, and then we can center around the issues that they have, because everybody has different things. One person could be dealing with homelessness, one person could be dealing with drug abuse, but if some of those needs are not met, then the person can't be the full person that they want to be. And that affects them mentally, affects them health-wise, it affects them getting through the day. So I think it's very important that the line of work that we do as a whole, no matter what agency we are. That's one thing that why I love that I do a lot of different things as far as advocacy, working in the community, because you get an opportunity and a chance to see what each individual is going through, but also what each agency is providing. So networking is a very important thing with I've noticed with myself and then working with Project Access. So if you don't or cannot provide a service or something, that you're able to link that client or that individual or that person to the next person that can help them and then give them the education, because everybody is giving something different. So it's always good to bring that together so the individual or the person has a better perspective of what's out there, because a lot of people don't know those laws or they don't know what the housing or services provided. So getting that perspective and getting out in the community and being as a one, we learn a lot more and we're able to do a lot more.
That's good, and it's good to know and share the information with that community. My next question is going to be for Tatiana Williams. Tatiana, I have an immigrant person that maybe, let's say in the next example that we came to Broward and then we want to get some information on how the hormones. What is your recommendation as a healthy shade for that person that we want to start as a transgender or non-conforming? But let's say that I don't know where I can find hormones or I want to do something for myself. Can you do microphone, please? That's okay.
That's a very very good question, because I've recently been thinking about informed consent. I've been working with individuals that are asking about hormones, not just immigrants, just within the transgender community have been trying to access hormones. But when you think about immigrants that may not have the proper documentation, what I try to do is find resources that can help them, especially when you're talking about healthcare. There are organizations that help immigrants that do not have the proper documentation in order to be linked to care. You have Care Resource that is able to do such work. And when we talk about healthy shade, and not only not to go across your question, Samantha, but I think about when we're talking about healthcare, there's a few things that we missed. And so when we're talking about shade, we always get caught up in that HIV arena, if you may.
Yeah.
We don't think about high blood pressure. We don't think about diabetes. We don't think about other ailments that happen within our community. And I think it's important that we keep that in mind, that, HIV isn't the only concern when it comes to our trans community. And also, when we're talking about HIV and healthcare, we have to think about our trans brothers and our trans siblings, right? I mean, our brothers are out there, our masculine brothers, they are needing all of these services as well. And when you think about their system internally, it's important that we recognize that as well. So for me, with my organization, if there is something that I can't do, what I will do is refer them to an organization that is able to do that, because it's important in our community that we network, right? And some people have what I have experienced working in the community, people understand each other, especially when you're coming from a background of that particular individual, which is why I think it's important where we have this melting pot and organizations that cater to different communities. And I try and tell people, some people may say there's a lot of organizations out there, but what I can say within South Florida, we have specific organizations that cater to specific populations. However, we still connect with one another and make sure that the community is treated holistically and wholly.
Exactly. So everybody get inclusive and equality, because there is a high population and we all have a different background. So it's important to cover all of them, not only the Black community, Latinos and Indigenous. It's just cover all of them. And with that being said, all of them, they have different problems and different backgrounds. So it's very good to acknowledge and understand what's going on. You want to say something, Tatiana?
I'm hoping with this new administration, and when we talk about, the WPATH, when we talk about access to hormones, etc., I'm hoping that, there's some inroads and that we can get something done in this next 4 years, where we won't have those challenges, where that immigrant that's walking through that wants to be whole, wants to be his or herself, or their selves, that we're able to lead them in the right direction, and we have a community that is supporting them, not just on a local level, state and national level.
Staying at a national level. That's why we want to keep you and continue looking for that community, looking for organization that working for your rights and doing their writing. Make sure doing your research, because Not all the organization they do what they said. So make sure that you got what you want. Micah, right now, I know that you guys provided different services for the community. What about the primary care for the trans and non-binary community?
Okay, yes. And regarding that, let me add on what Tatiana said as well. HIV doesn't discriminate. It's actually, it can affect every gender or every person. You know, it doesn't choose a sexuality.
Yeah.
Because like people, or I mean the society in general, they always put a label when it comes to HIV. You know, the stigma that when you heard HIV, it's all about gay people or about transgender people, but it's not. So as what Tatiana said, we also need to focus on the primary care. It's not only regarding HIV or HRT for the trans community. We also need other assistance in terms of, you know, healthcare. And at Care Resource, we do that. We actually help primary care. We provide like a checkup for them. We also do their, you know, hormone replacement therapy as well. Aside from that, if they have any other issues or they have any other illnesses that they actually have, we actually link them to a specialist or to another resources that we affiliated with. And in terms of other services, we also offer like, you know, behavioral health counseling. We have therapists as well who can actually help them out. We also have dental. We also do free service for HIV testing. So the good thing about South Florida is we actually work with different organizations that we actually able to link patients or clients. So that's the good thing about the community, that we're helping one another and we actually know each other already. So that's the good thing about the community, that we're able to have all the resources and the access that we need in terms of, you know, healthcare and other issues as well.
It's good to know that. And if I need some information or I want to change my primary care, there's so many organizations.
Exactly.
This question is really good. I got this from Instagram, and let me ask you something. I went to my primary doctor a few days ago, and I was trying to get my hormones. The doctor says that maybe I don't need hormones because I look very good and I look very feminine. Do you think that should I get like the doctor's suggestion or should I get my hormones? Vani, this question is for you. Let's start with you, Vani.
Yeah, if your doctor is advocating for you to actively not go on hormones, then they're violating their job. Your doctor should not be actively telling you not to go on hormones unless, like, something shows up in your blood panel that makes you like physically unable to take hormones. But other than that, the job of the doctor is not to gatekeep, but to be an informed consent professional. So that is one of the things that I am trying to push to the health department. Part of the work that I do is physician detailing. So that is to give advice and directives on, transgender care and services. So I think, it's important to have universal standards for informed consent to ensure that any practitioner that is treating transgender patients practices informed consent, which basically is just to go over the benefits and the risks of hormones, the changes that you can expect when things are irreversible and things like that. That is all the doctor should be doing. And they should only be advising you from a health standpoint. They should not be actively commenting on your looks or telling you that you should not need the service. So if that's what's happening to you, you need to find a different doctor and you need to find somebody that practices informed consent and is up to date on their practices.
There you go. See, you need that information, so there you go and you got it. And Vanny have it for you. So my next question, Lorena, why do we need a very inclusive area when related to healthcare? Let's say that I want to go to my doctor, to my primary doctor, and I say like I have a pain here, but the doctor is this kind of doctor that they do not treat transgender women. So, what is important to be inclusive, especially in a healthcare for transgender?
I think it's very important to be somewhere with someone who can identify the needs and assessments of trans women or trans men, their issues, because a lot of times if you have a healthcare provider who does not understand you, your needs, what you require as an individual, then it's a disservice to you. So oftentimes I would suggest that an individual, like Manny said, look for another facility that is informative of trans women or trans issues and be able to provide you the best care. For someone to not really, if you're saying you have a pain and they're not really adjusting that pain, it could be anything. As far as being trans, you go through a lot. How there's like, oh, well, they're not addressing the pain. There could be many things. You could have been in an abusive relationship. You could have had a fight with your partner and you're ashamed to say that. So if you have a physician that can sit down and tell you, it's okay, so what's going on with the pain, or address your needs and get on the one-on-one with you, it can help the individual become better and get better services and address the needs and concerns that that individual needs.
Thank you so much for that information, Lorena. And with that being said, I want to show you guys, please check it out, the website, one of our sponsors today, projectaccessfoundation.org. Check it out, this video.
Welcome to Project Access Foundation at TRANSART 2021. Project Access Foundation, your medical home inclusive and diverse. Our services include free HIV and STI screenings, primary care, HRT, free condoms, in-home HIV testing kits. For more info, visit us at projectaccessfoundation.org.
Projectaccessfoundation.org. Visit that website. Tatiana, I know you are the one that have like all the questions right there, and then like we start with all of this, like what is important to be so inclusive when it's related to a transgender, because there are so many disparities when it has to be for like seeking for a job, having a good position, and when it has to be for transgender. What, I know that you have so many things to say. What about like you have to say about like very inclusive and trying to find a job for transgender individuals?
I think when we're talking about employment and transgender individuals, or whatever inclusiveness look like when we're trying to access services, this is where me and advocacy, I always tell people when I started doing the work, and what I've noticed working with a lot of advocates throughout the country, is that the way people advocate in other places is something totally different than the way that we advocate here in Florida. And I think that it's important that when we're advocating that we understand what that looks like, right? And some people that may be privileged, like a lot of us that are on this Zoom, but there are a lot of people that are not. And when we're advocating, we have to keep in mind that we are representing others as well when we're in this space, which is why it was so important to me to acknowledge my trans brothers and masculine individuals, because oftentimes they're not given platforms, or they're not afforded the platforms, because when it comes to healthcare or employment, trans women are disproportionately impacted. So I understand what that looks like, but at the same time, we still have a lot of community members that are being underserved when it comes to doing a lot of things when we talk about inclusiveness in our community. So it's important, like even for our allies out there, right, that you understand what advocating looks like for trans and non-binary individuals, because you are at these tables, you are in these spaces that can actually disseminate that message, and you can desensitize, and you can kind of like stop that stigma that exists in our community. And this is what we expect of people in the community. We're not necessarily asking for anything in specific or anything special. We want equality. We want to be treated as such. We want to be able to walk in places and not be ostracized. We want to be able to access education, healthcare, employment, and not be ostracized, so we can better improve ourselves and be better productive citizens.
That's awesome. That's very, very good. I know. I know. So Tatiana, the same question is going to be for you. What about if you want to get a job? Do you have any information for me if I want to get a new job? Do you recommend me somewhere to go somewhere for? That's part of the health check, because if I got a good job, listen, I'm gonna get money to get my surgery, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just not even getting a job, right? We want to make sure, because there's a lot of our siblings that they're not ready necessarily to get that job. So we want to make sure we have resources in place to help them be able to get that job and show them what that looks like. And of course, We have all the resources. I know I'm connected to not Care Resource Broward, and a lot of other people that help us do the work, whatever that looks like. If you come in and you need computer training, if you need help trying to get your GED, this is what Trans Inclusive is able to do. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we wasn't able to do the work in the drop-in center. So a lot of work is being done remotely. And it's kind of, it is what it is, because it's not just the transgender community, it's the community at large. So it's important that we get this behind us so we can continue to do the work that we're doing. But when it comes to employment, we want to make sure that our siblings have everything that they need to access that. And when you have all these educated women that are on this panel, we want to be able to give a service to be able to help our siblings.
Absolutely. That's very true. That's very true. My next question, I want you ladies raise your hands if you have a quick answer for this topic because it's really good. So let me remind you, our topic tonight is healthily shade. It's not how you look outside, it's how you want to look, how and where that you can find information. So healthy shade can be mentally, physically, emotional, and all this all together. So, quick question for the super ladies. I have it right here for all of you. When it's time to read later, guys and people, I want you to all my followers right now and the people that they are connecting with us, please follow us on Instagram. I want to take this because I forget this. Follow us on Instagram and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for all of this organization that, oh, I'm sorry, all of this organization that we have right here, including Vanny, so you can follow her on Instagram. I have Micah right here, and I have Lorena and Tatiana. So that's included with all of this beautiful. So go ahead and follow them right now and continue because TransArt is 5 days of virtual celebration, vision, possibility, and many more. I hope that you be enjoying this. My question is, ladies, how do you feel if you go to somewhere and you find that the person that is in front of you that's working in the company is a transgender woman? Raise your hands. Lorena?
I feel empowered because it shows me that we're changing in this world. Because when you see something like that, it's a beautiful thing because you're like, you know what? I'm empowered because I know that we are making a difference. We are making a change, and it's very important for us trans individuals to show up in the community and say, you know what? Despite of what's going on and the services that we have, give me the chance. Give me the chance without all the ruckus and everything that could happen. We could be in society and live normal lives. A lot of people, believe it or not, they're like, okay, they never see that. So seeing someone presenting us as trans individuals in community, no matter where it be, an office, and I love seeing them in the office, like a business office or something like that. Wherever they are, it's important and it empowers me to show that we are making change, that the fight that each and every one has been doing for years, compassionately getting out there, that we are making a difference.
Absolutely. So we start with the word empowerment. So I see that and I love it. You, lady, raise your hands if you have another answer. Vani.
Yes. So I actually do have the experience of having another transgender woman work with me. I'm actually lucky enough to have her sitting right across my office. So Nikki Rhodes Montgomery is a transgender woman that has been working with the health department for a long time. She helped develop the original Tea House website. She's trying to expand that again. That is somebody that I have gained a lot of information and knowledge from on how to be, a better coordinator for the transgender community. I also happen to follow in the footsteps of other transgender women and individuals that have worked before me. I follow in the footsteps of Bishop, of Regina, and our very own Samantha. Also worked there before me. So that does make me feel very empowered. That there's a history of transgender people working there, and that I'm not the only transgender woman there. It feels very affirming, and it gives me a lot of hope for the future because that's what I want to see. I want to see multiple trans women. I want to see trans majority companies. I don't want to just see one trans woman as a token in companies anymore. I want it to be normalized. I wanted, our employment rate to go up. So I would say I echo the sentiments of everybody else. It would make me feel very empowered. It has, and it has made me feel very informed, and gives me a lot of hope for our future.
Yeah, so we got second word to describe very, very topic for our talk show tonight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. Raise your hands. I saw Tatiana that you have. Let's start with Tatiana and then Micah. Go ahead.
I don't mean to like really like take the conversation in a different direction, but when we talk about, I deal with an eclectic group of trans women, and some have educational backgrounds that really can put them in a lot of places. And what I would like to see is our trans siblings in some of those places and higher places. Every time I'm looking at MSNBC and CNN after the election, pre-election, and I
Yeah,
think about all of the people that we have that are able to speak on behalf of the transgender community, and we're not on television as much as other people are. And I think that if we kind of we have to see what that looks like for the transgender community. For me, I'm just hoping that we can get in higher level positions and positions of power that not just something that's healthcare related, not saying healthcare related is bad, or not in a transgender role, but in roles that can really impact the community, that can change policy, what legislation looks like. I'm really excited when I see transgender individuals that are running for office. That's exciting to me. And so I'm really excited about, is it McBride, I believe her name is?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm really excited to see what that looks like for our community as well. So hoping that we have more women of trans experience in the political arena, representing us at a state and national and level. So that's what I would like to see.
yeah.
I want to add that
Yes, go ahead, Manny.
Dr. Rachel Levine is being nominated as the Assistant Health Secretary, which would make her the second most popular public health official in this
Absolutely.
country. So, I think that is a good development. I'd like to see, more, like echoing what Tatiana said, more transgender individuals in leadership and empowering themselves in their community.
Yes, so we have more empowering me. And we have three words, Tatiana, Vani, and Lorena. So let's continue. Micah.
Okay, so just to add on what the girl said, for me, it's inspiring. Every time I see trans people or transgender men and women in an office or in any what do you call this, walks of life, like influencer, blogger, on a media, mainstream media. So we are actually emerging. You know what I'm saying is like there's trans revolution. We're seeing it. There's a progress, and it's very inspiring. So we are actually seeing there's progress, and I hope it will continue. That like what the Burn Talk said in
Did you
one
go
of
to the
her
thing?
stories before. She said that. So
Yeah, I'm going.
media
When I
always.
get off this Zoom at
Yeah, so as what Labrina said before in her documentary, that mainstream media always have wrong representation with trans people, but the real truth is we are always here and we're not going anywhere. So we
Yes,
are seeing progress, and I hope it will continue as years goes by.
absolutely. We're gonna continue as soon as we grow, as we continue, we're gonna be doing and better. Ladies, I wanna tell you thank you so much for all the time that you've been spending in this amazing Trans Art Day number 2. Let me give you some reminder. The Trans Art is 5 days in a virtual celebration. 25th to the 30th. Go and check it out. unitycoalition.org/transart. Welcome back to everybody, and I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Vani. Thank you, Micah. And thank you, Lorena.
Anytime.
And
thank
thank you,
you.
everybody, for
Thank
stay
you. Thank you.
connected.
Have a good night,
You're
everybody.
welcome. I hope to see you. And remember, follow us on social media, Instagram and YouTube, and all this organization. We've been working for the community. This is TransArt 2021. I'm your host, Samantha Letois, and see you next time.